This is exactly how I balance my gimbal every time I swap the setup. All right, we got our DJI RS4 gimbal here. The first thing we wanna do before we level it is we wanna make sure the gimbal and the camera, everything's sitting on a flat and level surface. You wanna make sure there's a battery already inside the camera. I cannot tell you how many times I went through the process of balancing my gimbal only to realize I never had the battery in there. And then once you throw the battery in, obviously the weight is now thrown off. So ND filter, whatever you're gonna put on, mic, make sure it's all good before you balance. We're gonna lock the pan axis and we're gonna lock the roll axis, and we're gonna focus on the tilt axis. In this case, the camera is pointing up. So that means we want to slide the camera forward because ultimately we want it to be level or parallel with the ground below. And let's start sliding little by little as I let go. There we go. And the next step is, I think, what a lot of people miss when they're balancing their tilt axis, which is there's actually a whole other parameter that you need to make sure you're taking care of before you turn your gimbal on. You turn your camera up 90 degrees so it's pointing toward the ceiling. So again, when I let go, it wants to point down now. That means I have to bring the camera back little by little. When I let go, it looks good. So let's go back and put our camera level to the ground. And actually it looks pretty good. So a lot of times changing this axis will throw the other one off a little bit, but right now it looks pretty okay. And the final way to check to make sure your tilt axis is all balanced is give your camera a little pivot. And if it stays at every degree along this tilt axis, then you know you've done a good job. Next, we're gonna move on to our roll axis. So the camera wants to fall to the right. That means this axis needs to shift to the left, and right about there looks right. We're gonna lock that. And finally, this is kind of a weird axis too. This is the pan axis. So we're going to unlock that. Make sure it's tightened, unlocked, but tightened before you do this. Otherwise your camera's probably gonna fall over. And we're gonna tilt it on the tripod legs. So you can see that it spins, it's kind of falling to the right. That means we have to push the camera forward a little bit. It looks like maybe that's about it. So let's try the other side. And so that's pretty good. So if you can move your gimbal along the tripod legs in any direction while this pan axis is unlocked and it doesn't move around, then you know you did a pretty good job. Once the gimbal's on, we're gonna run an auto tune or an auto calibration. A quick way to do that on DJI gimbals is hold the M and the trigger button, keep holding it until you see the prompt. So let go, let it do its thing. It's gonna shake and jiggle, and eventually it will reach 100% calibration, which there it is. And what I do to just verify that everything worked out is I click this little balance icon and we can actually check our balance in real time. Everything's in the green and everything's close to center, which means we did a pretty good job this time.